Hello there, collectors, hobbyists, sports fans, and card enthusiasts, and welcome to the live closing show for our summer card auction. I'm Mike Provenzale, the production manager in Heritage Sports Department, and with me, as always, the most lovable, bear-huggable guy in the industry, Mr. Tony Giese. Tony, where are you? You're not sitting here next to me.
I wish I was next to you, but I'm not far away. I'll just put it that way.
All right.
I'm in
Very mysterious. Very
I'm in the
mysterious.
comfortable confines of my office. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Nice. One of the finest Green Bay Packers collection in Dallas is in that office, I believe. So
Yes,
very exciting night. Tonight is session 1. We'll be closing. Extended bidding begins at 10 p.m. Central Time, so you still have a little time to get some bids in. And then session 2 is tomorrow night. Same thing. 10 p.m. extended bidding begins, 10 p.m. Central Time. And what we're going to do is talk about some of our favorite items, some of the highlights, some of the cool pieces in the auction. And Tony, right off the bat, what are your thoughts on the auction as a whole?
It's amazing. To put together an auction like this, there takes a lot of work, a lot of behind the scenes work. And it's just amazing what comes in here, the amount of material, the quality of it, the quantity of it. And, we continue to amaze just at these auctions and how big they are, and just and it's not just one thing either. It's everything. It's modern. It's vintage. There's tickets. There's kind of something for everybody in these auctions, and it's incredible.
Yeah, and it runs the gamut from 1888 to 2024, Tony. All sports, of course, and a lot of great non-sports material as well. So let's go ahead and get started. And right off the bat, I love it when we have a fresh to the hobby collection, and we have a very significant group of 1917 E135 Collins-McCarthy cards. And of course, the key from that set, Babe Ruth. This one an SGC X5. That is a Pop 2 with just one superior. All of these E135s are from a family that passed these cards down, recently graded, and they are going to auction for the first time. So fresh to the hobby. Beautiful example, very popular set, the 1917. This was the last large set until the early 20s with the caramel cards. There was 200 cards in this set. They did a great job of picking some Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers. Hall of Fame didn't even exist when these cards came out. But of course, the Ruth is the key, and this is a beautiful example with only one superior in the SGC population.
Yeah, it's just amazing to me. We have this conversation all the time. How is there still stuff that is still out there that hasn't been unearthed yet? Through the years, through the decades, and this one here just came to light not that long ago, and it's in great condition. I mean, SGC 5, pretty good centering on this, decent corners, and it's Ruth. It's also Ruth Red Sox, and he's pitching. So there's a lot of really cool points on this card, as are on the other cards from this set. And it's just amazing that things can still get found out there, and it keeps people looking. It keeps people chasing for things. And this one here is just amazing. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous card.
Yeah, and we deal with a lot of raw collections. We're the best in the business at that with our card team. But this is a special one when you get something that's over 100 years old, really rare set, kind of a low pop for all the cards in it. But we've also got the shoeless Joe Jackson. You could say he was at the height of his powers in 1917. Gorgeous example, also an SGC 5. This one's a Pop 1, none superior. It's the blank back variety. There's 4 different varieties of backs for the E135. And then we've got a Rogers Hornsby, amazing example. I'd actually never seen a Hornsby in person from this set, and good reason for that. This is one of just 2 Hornsby examples in the SGC population. The other one's just authentic, so this is the superior example. Another beautiful one from a Hall of Famer there. And then the 4th part from this collection is a blank back near set, Tony. 191 of the 200 examples, fresh to the hobby. All these that are graded, freshly graded, almost complete set. That is just mind-blowing.
Yeah, it is. And the second name that you brought up, Joe Jackson, has been in the news a little bit lately now. And we are all kind of wondering what's going to happen now if he goes in the Hall of Fame, what that's going to do to his cards, which I think it will spike it up, and it will keep his name in the news quite a bit here, I think, in the next couple of years. But it's a gorgeous set, great poses on these cards, great grades on these cards. And the Hornsby is considered his rookie card, isn't it, I believe?
For Hornsby, yes.
Yeah, which is amazing. I mean, batting 400 like he did, and I mean, he was just he's one of those top tier Hall of Famers. And anytime you can get fresh to the hobby, like you said, that'll bring out extra bidders. I think a lot of times, because these haven't been cycled through the hobby, 5 different times. These are brand new, and it's a new discovery. And anytime you have that, it's a big deal. So it'll be fun to see how these end tonight.
Yeah, so passed down through a family. So whoever wins this, it'll be the second family to own these. It's had a few owners throughout the family, but first time coming to auction. So Tony, is there any other Babe Ruth cards in the auction that caught your eye?
Well, I was thinking about being passed down from the family at cards. I got a 55 Bowman mantle passed down to me, but it's got a big, gigantic crease, and it's got a glue stain on the back. So mine is probably going to qualify as an authentic, but I still do have it. So
still something we would take on to consignment. I'll have
yes
directors contact you.
I will definitely do that. Maybe I'll get Rob Rosen on that one. We could definitely get him.
He only works 2 hours a day, I believe. So
oh my gosh, that's tough. That's harsh.
Try to fit it into his schedule.
We love Rob here, and I can't wait to see him at the National. So it'll be good. We got a 1933. We got a 33 Gaudy Babe Ruth, and just going through some of the colors on these things. I mean, it's such a popular set. You've got a couple different variations of Ruth, and this one here with the yellow background just really jumps out at you. SGC 5, and that one to me, I just love the pose on it. Love the card. There's a lot of cool points, and Ruth, as always, we say it moves the radar, and I thought that was just a really special card in this auction, and just a clean looking card. Great centering on this one, but I love the background on these cards. They really pop. They really jump out at you, and it's just a really nice Ruth card. And now we're getting right to in the middle of the baseball season with the All-Star game coming up in the next week here. So baseball's kind of in everybody's mind, and it's going to start, I think, getting bigger and bigger as we go through the year.
Tell me, Tony, I saw this idea on Twitter. Should the Home Run Derby be on July 4th and the All-Star Game be on July 5th every year?
I love that idea, but I think with people traveling and families together, I don't know if that would work. I like the idea. It sounds good, but I think the 4th of July, people are busy with the family, cookouts, that kind of thing. I think it would get lost a little bit if it did do that. Okay. I like the current format of having it Monday, Tuesday, Monday, the Home Run Derby, Tuesday, having the game. It's kind of, that's one of the things that's been pretty constant with baseball, and I think they should keep it as is.
All right, there it is.
There you go. There's my rant.
From Tony. All right, Tony, we've talked some vintage. Anything modern in the auction?
This one here is kind of from the early days of my collecting. The 1984 Donruss, number 5 on the Pop Report. Of course, the centerpiece card of this collection is the Don Mattingly card. I'm 49 years old. To guys in their 40s, this was the quote-unquote holy grail card of the 80s, his best rookie card. And, Donnie Baseball was playing with the Yankees, 330, 40 home runs, that kind of thing. It's a really cool set. Donruss, of course, in Fleer came out in 1981, gave Topps a little competition. This high-grade set's got a lot of special meaning to a lot of us guys in our 40s. Also, you've got the Darryl Strawberry rookie card there. You've got the Ryan Sandberg rookie, the Wade Boggs. Oh, that's the Boggs. I'm sorry, that's the second year on those guys. But you got some of those Hall of Fame players. Really nice-looking set. And you've got the Diamond Kings, which for the time was a really big deal. Dick Perez did a wonderful job on those, and really, it's literally a work of art on some of these cards. And when I saw that one, it kind of jumped out at me a little bit, just bringing back my youth a little bit.
Yeah, number 5 on the PSA registry, and one that, 689 cards is a massive set to complete, and you've got the complete master set here. I think that one, as you said, is going to hit the nostalgia bone for a lot of people that would love to have that complete set again, but don't have the bandwidth to try and put together 689 cards.
Yeah, that's a lot of work, and all you gotta do is hit the button on the bid board or on the bid, and you can have all the work done for you. It's a lot easier than assembling that, because the amount of work and time would be pretty substantial.
And we have another great grouping of 1933 Sport Kings. Really interesting set, of course, led by the Babe Ruth card right here, card number 2. This one, a near mint plus 8.5, only one graded higher. One of the iconic Ruth cards, 33, you could say was his last really meaningful year. But what I like about this set is Ruth card number 2, Ty Cobb getting the number 1 card spot. So
wait, so Ruth got upstaged for once? That just didn't happen.
And he was the Cobb had more tenure, I'll say, than Ruth, so maybe that was a factor. But the Sports Kings, the multi-sports set, we also have a beautiful red Grange example, red sliding down to card number 4 in the set, but still very high. But this one, a near mint 8, only 4 graded higher. I think this is one of the more underrated football cards. Red Grange, one of the first legends of the gridiron, and beautiful example here, the finest I've seen in person, at least.
It is really nice, and I mean, Red Grange helped make football popular, helped spread it to the West Coast a little bit. Of course, George Halas brought him on board, and they went on a tour, and they kind of did it like baseball, where they were playing games every few days, and football's a little more difficult to play every day, and it kind of ran its course a little bit, but it helped make football really popular back in the time that they staged these exhibition games. Football took second place to college football. Oh, yeah. And Red Grange is one of the big names that really helped bring the NFL to the forefront a bit, and help bring it, help give it that boost that it needed. So he's kind of the first superstar in the NFL, and is vital for their growth.
And notable for him to be included in this set. Baseball was far and away the most popular sport. And, he's right there with Ruth and Cobb and the other legends of the time, the boxing legends that are in the set, which were the most popular sports. So notable for football in general to be included in the Sport Kings set. And Red Grange, you just got to love that old-timey look, the old uniform, the leather helmet. Imagine playing multiple games a week in leather helmets, Tony.
I love the friction pads on that jersey. I mean, it just screams Chicago Bears with the orange and the midnight navy, and the friction pad, what they wore back in that time period. I mean, some of the toughest men alive, him, Bronco Nagurski. When you think of football, you think of Red Grange, and he had a lot to do with it being popular.
Absolutely. And then, of course, we have that Ty Cobb card, the number 1 card in the set. This one, a SGC 8, pop 1 just 2 higher, and the background, like on the 33 Gaudi you were just discussing, really pops on this one. I was looking at it in person, and that yellow background. Cobb, one of the first really well-marketed legends of baseball, and probably a good reason why he ended up on the number 1 card for the Sport Kings 33.
It's kind of funny. It's almost like he's smiling there too. I mean,
yeah,
that's kind of strange. We're not used to seeing that. Used to that kind of a grin.
You can only get like the half smile out of him. But I was discussing with one of our clients how many Cobb cards he's actually smiling in. This client was a big Cobb fan, and he said there's only 5 where you could even say there's a hint of a smile.
And this would qualify as one, I'm guessing.
Yeah, this isn't it.
Okay.
This is the card we were talking about. So there, the unofficial count there, but from someone I trust.
That's a great card.
All right, Tony, let's talk about Junior. Another one from our youth, a mainstay.
Yeah, going back on this one a little bit, 1998. This one here's got a swatch of a game-worn jersey, and for the time, that was a really big concept, a really big thing that they did. Of course, it got the nice autograph front and center, but the swatch, the jersey swatch, was a big deal to us guys that liked game-worn jerseys and memorabilia. This was next level, that you could actually have a piece of the game-worn jersey. And this is one of the first attempts of it. And I just saw it's
very early patch and auto card.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And I love Griffey Jr. where he signed it. He signed it against the middle, but it's against the light spot too. So he didn't sign it, in a spot that you can't read it. He did. He took his time when he signed this. So you got the vintage, well, not vintage autograph, but you got the autograph, but you've got the early.
Depends on how old you are.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of dating myself here. But it also has the jersey swatch for which, again, for that time period was a very new concept. And then, of course, that it took off. And now it's kind of commonplace to find jersey swatches and pieces of bats and baseballs and that kind of thing. But Griffey Jr. 98, kind of at the top of his powers. That one really stood out to me. I thought that was a really cool card.
And there was a few players with the piece of the action in that set, but the Griffey's the only one with the autograph.
Okay.
So good choice there. But I always wondered why they didn't get the rest to autograph them as well. Maybe they just thought, well, we'll give it a try, see what happens.
And we're going to get the best guy to sign.
Yeah, the top guy, especially in 98. His prime, if you will. I love this next one that you chose. We were talking about underrated football cards. One of the most underrated players of all time.
Yeah, there's on this card, there's a lot of things pulling for it. It's a Gem Mint 10, of course. And as we all know, in those 70s tops and O-Pee-Chee, this one being an O-Pee-Chee, centering is always an issue. There's a lot of times there's print marks on these cards. This one here centered really well, and it's Eddie Murray, I think a very underrated player in the history of the game. 500 home runs, 3,000 hits, which is.
I believe there's only 6 people that have done that.
I think you're right. I think you're exactly right. And the thing with this, the O-Pee-Chee cards printed in smaller quantities, just tougher to find in high grade. And this one here had a 15,000 estimate, and right now is at 21,000 and going. And I think this one here is just kind of tells you that people are really looking at these O-Pee-Chee cards now and giving them more love than they've ever had before. And Eddie Murray, being Eddie Murray, steady Eddie, he could do everything and didn't always get the highlight, didn't always get the headlines. Cal Ripken got him a lot of times, but I think this card is really showing that he's making a nice movement upwards. And
one of the just coldest portraits for a rookie card ever. He looks so cool.
Yeah, he does.
That image, with the stone cold look at the camera right there. He looks tough. I love that.
Yeah, he was he was a gamer, they would call it. He didn't mess around, and and I think some of the reason why he doesn't get the love is he wasn't that media friendly, and kind of like Jim Rice a little bit, a guy who just went out and played and didn't care about getting headlines. He just went out and did his job and obviously did a really good job of it. And I think his stuff is starting to move a little bit more now. Definitely.
Let's talk some basketball. In our last auction, we had some nice offering of the 2005 UD by the letter, and we've got another one in this auction, and it's a Jordan one. You can see it's the R, number 3 of 6. Really cool idea from Upper Deck for the 05 SP. The letters from 10 of the greatest players that ever existed, in Jordan, of course, the key there, but really difficult to find, especially the Jordans. These do not come up often. People trying to get one letter from each of the players in the set, or if somebody's out there trying to get the full Jordan, God only knows what that would cost. But usually when these come up for auction, which is rarely, once they're sold, they stay in a collection for a long time. And I expect that to happen with this one as well.
It's a fun project. It really, truly is. It's a great chase to try to get the whole name. Obviously, some of these are just hard to find. And you're right. Once they get bought, once they get obtained, guys aren't looking to sell them. They want to keep it together. They want to keep that collection together. And my goodness, we absolutely love having that. And anything Jordan is just, I mean, has just kept going up and up and up. And, 50, 100 years from now, Jordan's always going to be the guy.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of another legend, this next one is one of my favorites, the Allen Iverson Skybox Metal Universe Precious Metal Gems. This is the red variety, which looks great with that late 90s Philly jerseys on the answer right there. The answer the last couple of years, he's really been out front, just media-wise. He's been making a lot more appearances, doing some shows, doing some events. For, a few years he was kind of off the radar, but he's back, and we've seen some amazing results for his cards in the last few months. So I wonder if that has had an effect. But the PMGs are so popular, and of course, limited, just 90 in red. This is number 83, but aesthetics are off the charts on this one.
Yeah, and the thing is having that one numbered, and Iverson was next level. To people who got to see him play, he was just different. He was tough. God, he wasn't the tallest guy, of course. He's barely over 6'2", 6'3", maybe. But the guy would go in, battle with the big guys, absorbed a ton of punishment. But
get a shot off on anyone.
Yeah, I mean, of course, his rookie year crossing over Jordan like he did kind of put him on the map. And the funny thing about this is before the dreadlocks and the tattoo. So this is more Allen Iverson Georgetown with the look before the big transformation. Yeah, kid. Exactly. But no, he was one of those guys that was next level and literally carried the 76ers to a finals and was just a guy that was going to show up every
game one of those finals against the Lakers.
He did, and then he stepped over Tyrone Lue.
All right, Tony, what basketball cards?
Just a couple I thought that were of some underrated guys. Now, the first one here, Moses Malone. You would think a card, from the late 70s like this would be kind of common. But again, centering on this is difficult. And I think Moses Malone, if he played today, would be, top 3 player in the league. If he was playing today, he could do everything. He could score, great defender, block shots, won a title. And he's a guy that kind of gets forgotten a little bit.
He does.
And, with the 76ers, and he was great with the Rockets. And I think he's a guy that, I think he's a guy that should get a little more love. This one obviously being a Gem Mint 10. Again, we talk about all the time, the centering on this is just perfect. And he's in his ABA gear too. But I think a guy, Moses Malone, that, this generation, he doesn't get the love that he probably should get. But I think that's one of I think that card really stands out in this auction.
Yeah, you don't see it come up very often, actually. But yeah, I believe there's just 39 10s, so very rare for 70s even.
Mm-hmm.
More MJ? I know
you're this guy I'm not going to say is underrated, but I think that the card set might be a little underrated. This is a star issue. It's a 5x7.
Oversized.
Yeah, which is back then, people, they had card sabers and everything back then, but these were a little harder, almost like a tall boy, a little harder to keep them in nice condition. And this one, the patented Jordan dunk, the gold necklace, he's cocking back. It's early Jordan. He's got hair. It's a really cool one. And I think with PSA grading star cards and everything, I think that the star cards are getting a lot more love than they've ever gotten before. And this one here is just a great pose, slam dunk, got the Air Jordans on, kind of got everything. You got the crowd in the background. And I just thought it was a really nice look at an early Jordan in an oversized card.
Yeah, I love the pose on it as well. one of his famed dunks there from the dunk contest.
And the next one, I think, is a guy that he was a generational talent. He really was. Won his 2 titles. Just is a guy that should get more as being one of the all-time greats. Hakeem Olajuwon, back when he was Akeem, this 86-87 Fleer. Of course, this is the set for basketball collectors. This is his rookie card, red, white, and blue. It's just a beautiful look, and it's a card that, I just think Olajuwon was next level. And if Michael Jordan wasn't dominating for so long, he might have won 4 or 5 titles, but he won the 2 that when Jordan was gone. So
he took advantage when
he did take advantage, and he excelled against everybody. Shaq, he dominated in the finals, and I was a Shaq fan, so it kind of hurts to say that. But I mean, he was great against Abdul-Jabbar, David Robinson
as well,
Patrick Ewing. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that, pro. But I mean, he was just, he's one of the all-time centers, one of the all-time players.
When Robinson won the MVP, Olajuwon destroyed him in the playoffs.
He did. He did.
A lot of those famous highlights you see of Olajuwon are from that series.
He goes up and down and around the Admiral. Yeah. So I thought that's another car that, people are looking for something to buy, the next big thing. I think something like that. I think some of these 80s guys are getting much more appreciation now than they ever have. I think he's one of the guys that might start getting a little more than he has in the past.
Well, let's keep it with the 86 Fleer because one of the coolest display pieces you could have is this 86 Fleer uncut sheet. And what's cool about it is it's 132 cards, so the complete set. And, of course, you've got all those rookies in there, including the Jordan. But, man, it's such a popular set. Just imagine having this uncut sheet on your wall, 28 inches by 43 inches, if you want to go ahead and measure the empty space on your wall. Our boss has one of these. So definitely a cool piece. And, there's a lot of 86 Fleer cards out there. We've got a good number available in this auction, but you don't see the uncut sheets come up very often. Tony, do you have one on your wall?
I do not have one on my wall. I wish I did have one on my wall. The thing is, there hasn't been like a major find of these either. You see a lot of the baseball issues from back then, but you don't see the 86-87 Fleer basketball. And of course, that's the set. It's a smaller set, so you might have more than one Jordan. You'll get, you may get multiples, and you got the stickers. So it's a really popular one. And if there's one to own basketball-wise, that would be the one you'd want to have.
Yeah, awesome piece. Congrats to whoever wins that. I get it framed, put it on the wall. That's a conversation starter right there. Next, a rare basketball entry, the 1972 ComSpec set. And this is Kareem's card. This is a PSA 6. Very hard to find high-grade examples of any of the cards in the ComSpec set. This one in X-Men 6, and there's only 4 higher. Very strange set. It was someone who wanted to make their own set. They did their own graphic design on it, and you just do not see many come out. And I love this Kareem one, and it's a Pop 6 with just 4 higher.
Yeah, it's a very rare set. You just don't see them all that often. And that one, I didn't even know about that set until recently. Somebody brought some in. And
until I worked here, I had never even seen it before. But one of those, it's kind of the Wild West in the 70s, those early 70s card sets. And this is one that is kind of a rarity.
Yeah, it is. And it was kind of here and gone on some of these. And I like how El Cinder can barely fit in the screen there.
Duck down, get in there.
He's kind of scrunched in there a little bit.
Let's talk some football. We haven't talked football yet, have we?
Yeah, this one, Bruiser Kennard.
Awesome nickname.
Yeah, I mean, the 1955 Topps All-American set for a lot of these guys is their only card and is their quote-unquote rookie card. And this one here, a mint 9, just a high grade. Again, these are hard to find in high grades. There's just not a lot of these. It's a beautiful look. You've got the logo of the college, you got the action shot, and then you've got the player shot. I love the background on these things, and for its time, I mean, there's a multiple Hall of Famers. It's their only card, and there's a lot of just one of one guys that's it. There's just nothing else for them. So this is a highly collected set, and there's a lot of interest in this set.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, Bruiser, we should give you that nickname, Tony. All those bear hugs.
Bruiser Brody, Bruiser Kennard, man, I don't know. I don't think I'm that. I don't have that tough mentality. I don't have that killer instinct. I'm too nice.
That's true. That's true. Very gregarious. This one, a top of the pop contender, the 52 Bowman Large, Frank Gifford. Gifford, Hall of Famer on the field and in the booth. In fact, he was the NFL MVP in 56. So an outstanding player, although most people know him now as just the broadcaster. But a beautiful set, the 52 Bowman Large, another one where there's very few high-grade examples. Just 110. This one in a mint 9 is a pop 4. So one of the finest examples, and there's over 500 examples in the PSA population. But one of those with the sky blue background and the clouds in the background. Beautiful card.
It's a great pose. And, I mean, Gifford started in for the Giants. And anything New York, if you were a superstar, you were, next level.
Yeah,
and,
media darling.
He was something else. And, my goodness, he parlayed that into a great TV career, too. And Kathy Lee, everything. I mean, the guy lived a very charmed life.
And next, another guy whose cards are kind of underrated, Barry Sanders. This is the 1998 Topps Gold label. Barry Sanders, the Class 2 red label. You can see that in the corner. This is a Barry Sanders 1 of 1 right here. Guys from that era, especially, the 89 rookie class guys, their rookie cards are very common, don't hold a lot of value. So Barry Sanders, one of the greatest players ever. And, as a Cowboys fan, I can say he's the number 2 running back of all time.
Man, I was waiting for that.
But what you find with these guys from that era is once we get into the later 90s with the parallels and the inserts and the 1 of 1s, those are the really valuable cards for them. And this is one of them. This is going to be a 5-figure card for Barry Sanders right here. And the first time I'd seen this 1 of 1 come through Heritage, and it's going to find a new home tonight.
Yeah, and the nice thing on this is you made a good point on, for like Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, some of these guys, they were right smack dab in the middle of the junk wax era. Mm-hmm. So their rookie cards are not hard to find, but to find some of these parallels, to find some of these 1 of 1s, obviously are really, really difficult. So I can see these really on the rise at some point because, again, people want those chase cards, and Barry was next level. And I love how he's got the home and the road jersey in this card, too. It's not just the one. It really spaces out really nice. And Barry was – I've never seen anything like it. I know Emmett was better. Sorry, Paul. I know that. I'm not even going to argue with you.
Home office is in Dallas.
Yes, I don't want to get fired today. Chris Ivy's going to walk in my office and escort me out of here. But no, I mean these 1 of 1s. People right now, everyone wants the 1 of 1s, and Barry. There's not a lot of those really, really expensive ones, and this is it. And just a great, great card of Barry Sanders.
Yeah, and the past few years we've been talking about how popular signed vintage cards have become, and we've got some great examples in this auction. Tony, you picked out a couple.
Yeah, there's a couple that I really thought were kind of interesting. The one being the 1998 Top Stars rookie reprint, Walter Payton, and he died in '99. And the thing with Payton is, I mean, he didn't do a lot of these autographs. I mean, he signed at shows for years, but these certified autograph cards, he didn't do a ton of them because unfortunately he passed away before it became really, really popular. And this is one, it's a reprint of his rookie card, and he's perfectly signed it. It's top certified and everything. And I thought that was a really cool one because that rookie card is such a great look. And this one being a little glossier and it being the reissue, just a gorgeous, gorgeous kind of late in life Peyton autograph. And anything on that rookie card, of course, is cool. And this one being one that you could get in a pack, it's actually signed on the card, not signed on a hologram or anything. So I really like that card. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, good eye. What else you got in there?
We mentioned the 55 Topps All-American set. We took in a really nice assortment collection of 55 Topps All-Americans last year, actually. But, you definitely want to space that stuff out. Don't put everything out at once. And this was probably one of the main ones, the Four Horsemen. It's got two of the Four Horsemen, one being Sleepy Jim Crawley. And this one here is, it's really difficult.
Not as tough a nickname as Bruiser.
Yeah. This was actually coached with Vince Lombardi. So Crawley being one of the Four Horsemen. Obviously, back then, getting autographs on these cards was not common. And somebody ended up getting two of the four horsemen on this card, which is
incredible.
Very neat. And there's just not many of these out there. And, it took a lot of work to get something like this done. You have to literally send it away to 4 different people if you try to get everybody, which I don't know if there is actually one that's got all 4 of them, but this one's got 2 of the 4, and it's a famous football card. Of course, it's Notre Dame, and this is one I'm really interested to see what it ends at because, this card has always been popular, but who signed it is really, really neat on this. And there's some other really cool high-end 55 Topps All-Americans that are high-grade cards with very nice autograph grades. Most of the time when these were signed, they were beaters. They would take, the cheapest card they could get to get signed.
Right. Some
of these that have really gone up in value in the last few years, those high-grade cards that people rarely got signed. So
if you're out there and you're saying, I have that card with all 4 signed, give us a call. Would love to see it.
Absolutely.
This next one, kind of similar, multi-signed card, the 63 Topps NL Home Run Leaders signed example. And what I love about this is they got all 5 on the card. How about that? So it's Mays, Aaron, Robinson, Banks, and Cepeda, 9 autographs, the PSA 9 autograph grade, but really impressive to get all those autographs on one card. That was just something people were not doing back in the day, trying to get everyone to sign the cards. So really unique entry here. And then an incredible rarity up next. This is the 1953 Fargo Moorhead Twins team issue. Did you collect that set, Tony?
I had never heard of that before, and I'm astounded. I'll be honest. When I saw that, I'm like, wait, 53? I'm thinking, but Maris was like 57, 58. What, they made a card of him before that? I was surprised when I saw this. I did not know they even made something.
Class C Northern League affiliate of the Cleveland Indians, and they decided to put out a set, and God bless them, because you've got Roger Maras here, Maras, the name printed on the card, and it's not a typo, and that's what he signed. He changed his name in 55. A lot of people said because it was opposing fans were insulting him because of that name. But yeah, signed example here with a 10 autograph from Maris. There's only 2 signed examples of this card in the PSA population. The other one, the card is graded authentic. This is a 3, so this one's got a numerical grade. But yeah, this is one I had never seen this before, and very interested to see where it ends up.
And I mean the way he signed it in such a bold autograph, and obviously it's a vintage autograph. When he, once he changed his name, it's hard to find this variation of his signature. And the way he signed it, it's just gorgeous, gorgeous autograph. And, he's one of those guys that people say someday might make the Hall of Fame. And if he ever does, that's one of those things that could go up exponentially.
Yeah,
Because it's just,
pre rookie card, pre rookie autograph here in a 10. So checking a lot of boxes.
yeah, that's a really neat one.
And I know who Ricky Henderson would say has the best signed cards, Ricky Henderson. And this is a great one, Tony, that you picked.
Yeah, Ricky B. Ricky. And this one here is, he was a Gem Mint 10 player. And this one's here, a Gem Mint 10 autograph and the card graded a 10. Back in the 70s, well, mainly in the 80s, minor league cards got really, really popular. And I know when I was a kid, I was chasing after the minor league cards just as much as the rookie cards. And Ricky Henderson, these, of course, were made cheaper material a lot of times and kind of thrown around, and they didn't get the love, and people didn't save them as much as they probably should have. And this one here always had pretty good value, but being a Gem Mint 10 auto and the card grade, this one here, and Ricky, it's still hard to imagine that he passed away.
I know.
And he was just everything he did had a flair to it, obviously. And this one here really caught my eye. A minor league card, of course, harder to find, but Gem Mint 10 card and Gem Mint 10 autograph.
I love, how come there's no Ricky stories about his time with the Ogden A's in Utah? I just love thinking about Ricky interacting with the Utahnites, people in Utah. So many great stories from him. But if you have a minor league Ricky Henderson story, shout it out. I would love to hear it.
And he's one of those guys. I mean, if there should be a documentary on an athlete, it would be Ricky Henderson, because so many of his teammates and so many of the guys have stories about him. Man, I can only imagine, what
Tony, stop wishing and make it happen.
We got an auction to write. Once our platinum night catalog is gone to bed.
We have a filmmaker on staff. Josh, you listening?
All right, we'll see what we can do. We'll have Jonathan Shire finish writing the auction. We'll start working this other project, and I'll get back to you on that one.
Please have me in the room when you ask Jonathan to take some time to produce a Ricky Henderson script.
We could have Jonathan write the script to it, though. That would be pretty good, I bet.
Yeah, of course. He's got nothing but time, right? All right, and hockey, first hockey entry of the night. There you go. Beautiful example.
Yeah, this one here, Wayne Gretzky doesn't do a lot of signings anymore. I don't know where he hasn't done anything public in quite a while. And now with the growth of the rookie cards being signed, this is one that I think is really on the rise. It's just because there's just not enough of these out there, and everybody wants the rookie card signed, but it's not like you can do a mail-in with Wayne Gretzky. He is, I'm not saying he's hard to get to, but he's not just out there signing a ton of stuff right now. And there is a huge...
I mean, he's like Brady and Jordan. He doesn't have to do signing.
Doesn't have to do it.
No reason for him to do it. I'm sure if you catch him in public, I mean, he's a nice guy. He's Canadian, so I'm sure he'd give you an autograph. But are you going to have this card on you? That's the thing.
Exactly. Having that rookie card, and athletes, they know now that the rookie card being signed is worth a lot more. And yes. I don't know if that would sway him to not sign it, but if he ever did do a signing, obviously there would be a pretty big premium put on this card. And I think this is one that people are really, there's just not enough supply out there to offset the demand for this card.
Agree 100%. Mm-hmm. And you're bringing up some wax. We haven't talked wax yet.
Yeah, right now, Connor McDavid, he got close again. Just not quite yet.
He's going to get there one of those days. That's going to be like
I'll tell you,
a John Elway situation where when he finally does it, everybody's happy for him.
And the thing is, if he did do it in Edmonton, if the cup went north of the border, it would be a cause for some major celebration. And, if he does it, I think this is the kind of thing that's going to explode because everyone's going to want his rookie card. And if he's the guy that does it, I mean, he's gotten close now a few times. If they can, this would be the thing that I think people would really go crazy for. His rookie card, unopened case from Upper Deck, and you can only imagine the opportunities here.
That one's in great condition as well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what that sells for.
Switching back to the modern side for a moment, we have a really incredible run of 2024 Topps Transcendent one of ones. I know we've got Yamamoto right there. Beautiful one, but there's about 25 in this auction, and there's a Paul Skeens one of one, David Wright, Ronald Acuna, even a Ricky Henderson one, Tony, a 2024 Ricky Henderson Transcendent, the patch autograph emerald, but a really beautiful set. Aesthetics are really incredible on this, and an amazing collection of them closing tonight. I think there's about 25.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great look. I mean, Ricky with the Mets, interesting. But that being said, yeah. And I mean, these swatch cards are just so beautiful. You got the autograph, you've got the action shot, and of course, you got the main piece, the swatch. It's a very busy looking card, but it's a really cool looking card. And, anytime you get these low numbers and low pops, it just brings out bidders. And I'm very excited to see how these end tonight and what they end at. Because,
yeah, I think we're going to see some fireworks for the Skeens card, especially given what he's done the last couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, now there's already talk of him being a Cy Young favorite this year, even though he's 3-7 or 4-7. He doesn't get a lot of support, but
it's like how we talked about 1980s Nolan Ryan.
Yes,
he just couldn't get the support, but was putting up incredible numbers.
Yeah, and Skeens, I mean, he's going to be in the All-Star game this year, and once he's going to be much more of a national figure, and his girlfriend kind of moves the radar too in a lot of ways for collectors. And
no question.
I mean, she's, with her involved, there's a lot of things here. And yes, he's in Pittsburgh and they don't win. But that being said, he is a once in a lifetime talent, and it'll be fun to see what his card ends at.
And let's talk about another once in a lifetime talent with Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of movement in women's basketball cards now. For the longest time, women's basketball just didn't get the love. We used to have talks here about it. Cynthia Cooper, Cheryl Swoops. I mean, these Lisa Leslie, these great names, but people just didn't collect. Now with Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, I mean, it's really taken on a life of its own. And
Cameron
we do
Brink,
a lot of.
Let's not forget her.
Who's that?
Cameron Brink. Let's not forget her.
I'm sorry. Yeah, absolutely. But we do a lot of shows, and you're seeing more and more women's basketball cards now. And I've obviously Caitlin Clark is the one that everybody wants, and the autograph cards and the memorabilia, the tickets, the autographs. But you're starting to see a lot more Caitlin Clark shirts, jerseys at these shows. And I think at the National this year, that might be one of the things people are really going to be starting to buy and go after our women's basketball cards, WNBA, and you've got college cards now. And there's a lot of different areas that people can collect for women's basketball. But it's definitely on the rise.
We had an amazing collection of Caitlin Clark cards. There's almost 100 we have closing this weekend, some tonight in session 1, and then we have some more in our weekly auction on Sunday night as well. But some great examples, hard to find. I love the 2023 Bowman U Best, the Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese dual auto. That rivalry is much talked about right now. So I think that's going to be one that collectors are really going to go after. But we have the Sharpshooter's autograph red. We've got the gold refractor. Some great limited Caitlin Clark going to be changing hands this weekend.
It was just amazing when I was looking through the list of what we're selling and how many different variations they make and how many different ones there are. It just tells you how popular basketball is, women's basketball is, and
Card wise, it reminds me of the rollout with LeBron. He was so heralded in '03 that all the marketing companies, card companies, were trying to get in the LeBron business, and it's exactly the same with Caitlin Clark. So
exactly
there's
right.
a lot of great options out there, and a lot of ones that if you like the set for the men's side of the game, they've got it now for the WNBA, which was not the case for decades, essentially.
I remember I think the first year they made them, they were in like a aluminum can. I think Pinnacle might have made them, and they were in a can. I remember that. And I always was like, I wonder if someday these are going to be the things to collect. Now they are, and once you make that move into it, you don't go back. And it'll be interesting to see what happens now with women's basketball cards.
Yeah. And I'm interested to hear what you have to say about 1971 Topps baseball, which you have up next.
We get a lot of calls on, what do you have? 70s baseball. Do you have 71? Is 71 or 75 are usually those are the two most popular ones. 1971, and every time somebody has these, send me photos. These are always in the roughest of shape. We talk about these black borders, the centering, the condition of these. It's so difficult to get these in high grade. And there was two that really stood out, both PSA 8s. The Pete Rose, who was in the news now with the Hall of Fame possibly coming his way, in the next 5 years, let's say, and Nolan Ryan. These cards are usually the most expensive for the player. I love that RC Cola in the background of that Nolan Ryan card. But
you're a Royal Crown guy?
Man, it's been too long. I think they got to bring it back.
It's out there. It's out there.
Boy, we got all the marketing. We got the Ricky Henderson documentary, and now we're starting RC Cola again. We got a lot going on.
A lot of irons in the fire here.
We do. My goodness, is there enough time in the day for us here? But this is the most popular set in the 70s, in my opinion. Hardest to find in high grade. And these two, again, really high grade. And, the Nolan Ryan and Pete Rose, the rookie cards, they have multiple players on them. So these are ones where they're featured by themselves early in their careers. And the 71 Topps always brings out bidders, and really it's a special set because of those borders and hard to find in high grade.
Yeah, good eye on those. Another amazing collection we have is this next group. They come from the John Esch collection, which we've been selling his collection for a couple years. Really impressive collector who specialized in obscure, niche, rarely seen, rarely known cards, and these would fall into that. These are the 1910 Novelty Cutlery. Yeah, that name. And they were from Canton, Ohio. And in 1910, they made a set of 25 postcards. And as you can see, they're large. They did an incredible job picking the subjects because essentially all of them ended up being Hall of Famers. But we have 23 of the 25 from the set in this auction, all closing tonight individually. And they are very low pop, all of them, because the entire set, there's only 238 total examples from the entire set in the combined PSA and SGC population. So only 238 known. And so the 23 here is almost 9% of the known population of these cards are going to change hands this weekend. Beautiful images of some of the greatest stars. That's my favorite right there. Tommy, you've got the Ty Cobb and Honus Wagner. That's the famous photo from the World Series. There's only 5 examples of this card. This one a PSA good too. But, with less than 250 total known, almost every single card has a pop under 10.
That's the one right there where they're shaking hands. That's the famous image.
Yeah, great one right there. The two legends of the dead ball era. But just a really cool set. I'd never seen any of these before. But you've got Cobb, Wagner, Walter Johnson, Lajoie, Christy Mathewson, Eddie Collins, Eddie Plank, Frank Chance, Bresnahan. So great job picking the subjects there from the novelty cutlery. Do you have any novelty cutlery knives in your
I
kitchen?
don't, but I'll tell you, great poses, great graphics on these. I love the background. I love the borders on these things. And I had never seen these before. And it's just, yeah, you're right. You make a great point. I mean, they picked the right guys.
Yeah.
And for a lot of these guys, there's not many cards out there. For some, you mentioned Bresnahan. There's really not many cards of his to really find. And for some of these guys, it's one of the few. And with these low pops on these things, I could see these things exploding tonight and going for crazy numbers, because you may not see one of these for another 5-10 years. You just never know. Or if somebody buys them all, you may never see them again. Who knows? But
yeah, I was talking to some big Deadpool era collectors, and they were talking about how they'd seen 1 or 2 or 3 of these in person, but to have 23 of them in this one auction, it's really unbelievable. I'd never even seen one before. And even some of the, diehard collectors of that era, they certainly haven't seen 23 together. So really excited to see what all those do. Like you said, that's something where they're doing very well, but once we get to extended, people are really going to realize, it could be years before another one of these reaches auction.
Yeah.
So excited to see what happens.
Yeah, very interesting set. Yeah, again, I had never seen that before, and for a lot of these guys, you won't see these again. So,
yeah,
interesting collection.
Also interesting, the 1991 Desert Shield set, one I'm very familiar with. Tommy has seen me eat the gum from that set more times than he would like to admit, probably.
And you still have those beautiful teeth. So I mean, you didn't chip a tooth or anything. So props to you on that. It's funny. Yesterday, one of my coworkers here had me look at some cards, and he had 1991 tops, and I went into the whole thing. Well, if they would have been Desert Shield, they would be worth tons of money. And I was telling him about it. And we had this, the whole story on these were issued only to the troops. Most of them never made it back. They didn't have, pocket holders for these cards. These guys were fighting for our country, and they didn't have, card savers and that kind of thing. Right. And these
tough conditions when
yes, exactly
in a forward area.
And so many, we talk about the 90s being the junk wax era. This is one of the only times where these are limited, and for almost all these players, it's their best card in the 90s. For obviously any of the rookie cards, it's their best rookie card. And Chipper Jones being a Hall of Famer, he's such a young-looking kid in this one.
Yeah, he is.
Anytime you see those Desert Shield cards, it just kind of brings out patriotism and growing up in that era. And these were always the most expensive cards from the 90s.
Yeah, let's get a card company to do that again. Issue some more cards just to active service men and women. Why not?
Yeah, it's surprising it's never been done. Has it been? I don't think it's been done ever since.
And it's just the only difference is that little Desert Shield decal in the corner there. You can't tell from the wax boxes on the outside or the wax packs. There's no difference from the standard 91 tops. So when we sell the wax boxes, we have to open some of the packs just to ensure, because Baseball Card Exchange does not seal them up.
Yeah, we were at a show in Detroit recently, and somebody brought one in, and I think it was sealed, still factory sealed. And we had the conversation. You got to open up X amount of them just so we do it being videoed. So that's kind of how we have to do it on those. But yeah, I mean, for the 90s cards and for the 91 rookie, that's the one to have.
Keep going, Tony. You're doing great.
And this one here, we talked about the Ken Griffey Jr. swatch card. This was right at the beginning of having autographs in packs of cards. Ted Williams being one of Upper Deck's main guys in the early '90s. These were issued in packs. I think this is 1991 of Upper Deck, and this was one of the first chase cards that was ever created. And they picked a winner when they picked Ted Williams. Obviously, it's a beautiful looking Williams card, great signature on it. And when you talk chase cards, autograph cards, this was the beginning of it. Reggie Jackson was the first subject for Upper Deck that had the autograph cards, but Williams was the second or third. And obviously, Teddy Ballgame, is just next level. And he signed in a great spot. And when you talk about the beginning of autographs and packs, this was right at the beginning. And these are hand numbered. And Williams, just like Mantle and DiMaggio, had a gorgeous, gorgeous autograph. And it's a timeless look here with the drawings of him on this card. And to guys my age in our 40s, this was a card we all dreamed of owning.
You never owned one, Tony?
I never did. My holy grail would have been getting a Shaq card in the classic basketball brand. And I remember a couple years ago at a National buying 5 boxes of them, just thinking, hey, I'm going to get that Shaq card, but I want to get it myself. I don't want to just buy it. I want to get it in a pack. Open up 5 boxes, the worst collation ever, classic basketball 92, 93. I didn't get one, but I had a fun time opening them up. I did get the Shaq LP, which I still collect Shaq rookies because it was a great period of my life as a youngster, and it really was a fun time for collecting. So,
all right, those watching the shows, help Tony get what he needs there.
I got to get him a pack, but yeah, send me one. I'll take care of you.
All right, let's talk a little non-sports. We have some incredible non-sports material in the auction. And Tony, as I'm sure you know, the new Superman movie opened this week. You've already seen it, right? You went opening night?
I was in line, yes. I've seen it 2 times already. Yeah, I beat the rush to it.
So good timing by some of our consigners here. First, we've got, of course, the Superman rookie card, 1940 Gum Ink. Number 1 in a PSA 4. This was just 2 years after Superman debuted in the comics, in Action Comics number 1, which if you're looking for one of those, we've got one in the comics department right now. Great card, obviously super important. There's some great entries for comics in the trading card pantheon, and this of course is one of the most important with Superman. But we also have a cool collection of 1941 Superman cards. This is the Delorge's Bread Superman. Tony, you have Delorge bread when you have a sandwich? Maybe Staler's bread?
I love the look of these. I absolutely love the look, love the graphics on these things. The colors are vibrant. They jump out. I love the advertisement. Love how he's lifting that car up with one arm. It looks, well, maybe 2, but he looks, yeah. I mean, Superman's never looked better than on this issue, and
so
it's a great
designed to look like a panel. And what it is there was a set of 8 cards, and they were put into loaves of bread. I love it when that happens. I like cards that were in meat or loaves of bread or things that you just don't expect them in. So it was the Junior Defense League series. And of course, this was during the World War II war effort, and that was part of this. And these paper thin cards, so few survived. And they'd have the bread ad on one side and then the Superman panel on the other. And if you got all 8, they could be returned to Superman Inc. for a wearable badge featuring the last son of Krypton, the Man of Steel. But of the 8 from the set, we have 6 in the auction tonight. A weighty subject, poison in midair, Superman thwarts kidnap, race with a bullet, Superman saves troop transport, and Superman averts an army disaster. So do not see these very often. They didn't really survive much because
most kids sent them back in. I suppose if they got the set, they sent them back in For the ring, you
Send
said?
them in. They were in bread, first of all, which they were just going to get damaged in there. And then they are super paper thin, some of the thinnest cards I've ever seen. So if you saw the new movie, or you're planning to see the movie, or you're a lifelong Superman fan, some really cool Superman entries closing this weekend. And like you said, Tony, I love the panels made to look just like the comics, of course. And a cool time in history, that war effort and the marketing things to help with the troops and funding, and this was part of that. Another
I just
cool.
wonder, what is the ring worth? I just wonder.
I haven't seen one of the badges.
Sorry about that.
I was talking to our catalogers about it. They haven't seen one either. But if you have one out there, we'd love to put it in an auction. I mean, I'd just love to see it personally. But some cool, unique Superman entries, and a good time to strike while the iron's hot. Good reviews for the new Superman movie. So James Gunn has done it again, it would seem. Another cool non-sports set that I'm a big fan of is the 1940 Lone Ranger issue. And this is one of those sets. There was no reason for the artwork to be this good on this set, but it is spectacular. Did you watch The Lone Ranger when you were a kid, Tony?
I did watch The Lone Ranger. Yes, I did. That was on in syndication.
Yeah, syndication made it live on for our generation. I don't know if the generation coming up now is familiar with them. We did have the movie maybe a decade ago, but the cards in this set are just beautiful. And this is the complete SGC graded set. All of them are graded, all 48 cards, and it's all action scenes. And, the early 40s, a great era for these non-sports issues. And this is aesthetics on this set are just beautiful. I know the Lone Ranger is a little niche these days, but there are a lot of collectors who look for these non-sports. So a complete set, we do not offer the complete set of this Lone Ranger set very often. So if you just want to knock it all out tonight, you can. And
those are great graphics on those cards. Those are really great graphics on those. Great scenes depicted on there. Yeah, I would really like those.
So
and the high grade too.
Yeah, of course. Great high grade complete set. So a lot of amazing offerings in the auction. Almost 2,500 cards are going to change hands tonight and tomorrow. And as we said, we have our Sunday night auction also with more of that Caitlin Clark collection. So extended bidding begins tonight and tomorrow at 10 p.m. Central Time. So you've got a little under an hour to get your bids in before extended bidding begins. And then after that, we'll start getting ready for our platinum auction, and can't wait to see everybody at the National. Tony, what are you looking for at the National?
Oh my gosh, it's the biggest show of the year. It's so much fun. You get to see people for the only time you see them the whole year. Everybody brings out, a lot of the dealers, they save their best stuff for the National. So I would advise people get there early. Last year, we all saw what it was in Cleveland. It was so packed the entire time. Exactly. And this is going to be Chicago for the next 3 years. It's going to be amazing, and I love it. I'm getting in a day early, actually. Going to get there Tuesday so I can see you earlier.
We start setting up on Monday, Tony. We start setting up on Monday. So
here's the thing on that.
I'm not going to let it fly. You're saying you're getting there early on Tuesday.
They don't want. I tend to get in the way. So I just, hey, do you want some help setting up? And they're like, no. Just go talk to people, go talk to collectors. And I just stay out of their way. And that's the best thing. Trust me, our operations staff will agree with me on that. But I'll be there Tuesday. Can't wait to meet everybody, see everybody. It's so much fun. Never gets old. The National is by far the biggest show, and there's nothing even close to it. So it'll be a great time.
What I'm looking forward to is over the past few years, there's been a lot of great artists who have started setting up booths and selling their work at the National. I've been looking at it for years. This year, I'm going to pull the trigger on something, Tony.
A caricature of me and you, maybe? Can we get that done?
Live art? Absolutely.
All right.
I am coming
home from it off here.
I'm coming home from the National with a piece of original art, and I'm going to make Cody put it on the truck. So,
all right, let's get a really big one though. Make sure it's like, like it's supersized.
Yeah, I need a Vince Young or a Troy Aikman original art. So if you see one, message me and let me know. To everyone, good luck in the auction. Thank you to our consigners for trusting us with your material. Good luck in the auction. Session 1 be closing in a little under an hour, and then session 2 is tomorrow. And of course, if you'd like a free appraisal, you'd like to talk about consignment, please reach out to us. Tony, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
TonyG@ha.com is my email. My office number, 214-409-1997. Let's talk the National. Let's talk the industry. Yeah. Let's talk about collectibles. We never get sick of it. I'm literally chained to my desk for the next 3 weeks until our Platinum Night catalog is done. So I'll be around, and my goodness, we love talking the hobby.
And you can reach me at mikep@ha.com or message us on any social media platform. I run that. Would love to talk to you. And good luck in the auction, and we'll see you.